episode of Action with Podcast is brought to you by our gold partner, A-Star Financial Solutions UK, who'll be there to help you throughout the home buying process from the initial assessments to the day that you get your keys. Our silver partner, TapTap Send. With great rates, zero fee, and instant transfers, sending money to Nepal has never been so easy. Get the app today and use the code ACTION10, especially for our Action with listeners to get a £10 bonus. Tap and send now. Also, a big mention to our silver partner, New Luxmi Jewelers, home to a stunning range of jewelries and timeless collections from the heart of Aldershot. Finally, our bronze partner is Nepal Authentic Dining, where authentic and delicious Nepali food is served right from Shepherd's Bush and Boston Manor. And our bronze partner, Nepali Music Festival UK 2022, taking place at the Harrow Leisure Centre on December 16 with Trishna Gurung and Ekdev Limbu and more. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to everyone listening to another episode of Action with Podcast. I have with me today, oh my God, I'm just really excited. Deeya Pun. Deeya Pun, welcome to this show.
Thank you for having me.
है दियाको बारेमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि त आई थिंक मेरो साइडबाट धेरै कुरा गर्न सक्छु जस्तो लाग्छ because you know we've known each other for a long time but we've never really actually यसरी कहिले पनि हामी सँगै बसेको छैनौं र गफ गरेको छैनौं तिम्रो करियरको बारेमा मैले तिमी भनि पठाए and this is going to be tricky because
that's okay, you can find
I'll always get corrections online on the comments saying media को क्षेत्रमा काम गर्ने हो भने तिमी चाहिँ नभन्दा हुन्छ होला भनेर and I completely understand तर अर्को अब हाम्रो कन्टेक्स्टमा भन्नु पर्दाखेरि दियासँग चाहिँ हामी 2000 इयरमा which is like nearly 22 years ago हामी same road ma basthyau and I'm you know I think I was more friends with your brother but I think as families we were very close because you know it was a very new place for us and so on so त्यो हिसाबले नै अब तिमी भनेर जान्छ तर त्यस पश्चात हैन अब कति धेरै कुराहरु भइसक्यो जिन्दगीमा त्योहरु चाहिँ हामी कहिले पनि कुरा गर्न पाएको छैनौं र आज यो पडकास्टमा आइदिएकोमा धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु.
No, thank you for having me. I always wanted to come. I think सुरुदेखि नै you've been asking but unfortunately मेरो I was busy and everything so finally we get to sit down and talk.
And we will talk about your व्यक्तता के थियो भनेर so तपाईहरुलाई थाहा छैन भने दियाले चाहिँ May 27th is that correct? May 27th को दिनमा चाहिँ सगरमाथा को you know के भन्छ चुचुराई भन्छ हैन त्यो टपमा चाहिँ उभिएर हैन एउटा हिस्टोरिक मोमेन्ट र एउटा लाइफको माइलस्टोन नै अचिभ गरेको छ त्यो चाहिँ हामीले न्यूजहरुमा पनि देख्यौं and I was just constantly refreshing मेरो Instagram अनि feedहरु र looking into Himalayan times र अन्यमा के अब you know कोले आज सब्मिट गर्यो भनेर नामहरु आउँछ नि अनि तिम्रो नाम कहिले आउँछ होला भनेर के and that happened and I'm so like you know congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously it's been slightly about 8 weeks since the summit. You know how are you feeling now?
Now I think my body is like tired, everything aches, but it still feels surreal. Like even sometimes I sit down and just like talking to my mom and they're like, did I really summit Everest? So कहिले काहीँ चाहिँ त्यो हुन्छ नि मान्छेहरु आउनुहुन्छ and congratulate गर्नुहुन्छ. There's like सम्मान कार्यक्रम हुँदाखेरि म आफूलाई कहिले काहीँ चाहिँ बिर्सिँदैन रहेछ कि I really was at the top of the Mount Everest. So yeah, it just feels like surreal.
है अब त्यो त हामी कति मान्छेहरुले त अब सगरमाथालाई आफ्नै आँखाले पनि देखेको नै हुँदैन हैन अनि and that's one of the biggest questions that we get growing up in the UK like you know we say I'm from Nepal you know have you heard of Mount Everest khalko ani and then our friends would say have you seen it from your house khalko
or have you climbed it
now you can say yes and yes there's a lot of yeses that you can say and त्यो मोमेन्टमा चाहिँ obviously you know यो सगरमाथा चढ्ने भन्ने एउटा लक्ष्य बनाएको त अब it's been a while for you तर when you actually were getting so close to the journey let's say on the 20th or 22nd of May as you were in the camps waiting for that window period what are the biggest things going on then in your kind of mind or the questions?
During that time, I was thinking a lot because I have to say a backstory because my original summit plan was in May 15 with my team. Unfortunately, when I was in Camp 2, I was really, really ill. So I had to be heli rescued and then was flown down to Lukla and then stayed there. And then after a few days, I was back to Kathmandu. So during that time, a lot of things was in my mind. First was like, okay, maybe my expedition is not going to go ahead. Like charity they're going to be so disappointed. All the people counting on me is going to be so disappointed. So I was disappointed in myself. Your journey continue going to but then Nims Purja, Nirmal, and then the whole team, Mingma Bai, Mingma Dai, they were all like so encouraging and said, look, you still got time. Normally Everest season is at the end of May. So they were saying like even like you got plenty of time, so you just have to start all over again, but first get recovered, get well first, and then you can start your journey again. So recovered by 17, and then I was back in base camp, and there's a lot of waiting with the weathers, and when you see your team one is already summited, and I'm thinking like, when is my turn? Like, so during that time I was kind of apprehensive in the sense like, because I only reached the camp 2, so in my mind I think I need to reach camp 3 to like get my mind sorted, because I was still thinking, okay, what if I'm gonna be ill again? What if this is gonna happen? So there's lots of what if. So once I reached camp 3, then I was okay. I've gone past my first time, so I reached camp 3. So now I need to be really focused and just like keep looking forward and just keep going till I reach at the top. So that's what my head was playing at first.
Wow, that's such different kind of worries क्या हैन किनभने हामी स्पेशली जो व्यक्तिहरू हिमालयहरू चढेको छैनौँ र त्यो वर्ल्ड थाहा नहुनेहरूलाई त अब हामी त सोच्दैन नि त खासरी के चाहिँ आफ्नो मनमा खेलिरहेको हुन्छ भनेर र जुन लुक्ला फर्केर जानुपर्ने बताउनु भएको थियो त्यसमा चाहिँ खासै के भएको थियो इन टर्म्स अफ अल्टिट्युड सिकनेस थियो के भएको थियो?
I think looking back, सुरु त्यति बेलामा चाहिँ I was really cold from base camp देखि नै, so we had to like leave 1 in the morning, and my fingers were cold. I was getting really so jati jacket launda pani I wasn't warm enough, but we still carry on. And Kumbai summer there's lots of vertical walls, so during that time my hands like got locked because they were frozen but there more I don't think there was like a blood flow in my hand. And I was like climbing, and then my fingers would get locked, and then I have to warm it up again, and then it's like, imagine, and I was like keep looking behind, there's like people waiting for me to go past the wall, and I kept thinking, okay, maybe I'm the one who's holding up the queue and everything. So there's a lot going on, and then and then we reach camp 2, and then next day we have to do a hike you have to reach camp 3 and then come down to acclimatize your body. And then during that time I just did 5 steps, and I was so tired I couldn't walk anymore, and I kept thinking to myself, why can I not walk? And then Mingma Bai was with me, and all the team was already ahead, and I was so getting angry with myself and saying, why can I not walk? I just walked all the way from base camp, and then my urine was getting cloudy, and I had a pain at the back of my lower back area, and in my head I thought, okay, maybe I've got urine infection. So Mingma Bai said, okay, just have a rest and we'll see in the evening. So I decided to take an antibiotic thinking it's a urine infection. So there was a oxygen probe there. So I just put my finger to just being curious, and my oxygen level was only 41%. And I was like panicking. I was like, oh my God, that's really low. And then that's probably explains why I couldn't walk. So they put me on oxygen, and the whole night I was on oxygen. So it was only 1 liter, and 1 liter of oxygen, my saturation, which 92%, and then as soon as I take it off, it just plummet down to 41%. And I was like with oxygen the whole night, and then in the morning they come and check again, and I said, look, every time I take my oxygen off, it just plummets down. So the Mingma Bai have to decide, you have to descend down, you cannot carry on because you have to come down. So, and I was like in tears. I was like, oh my God, like I felt really like I failed.
Oh, no.
So I was like in tears, and then the helicopter was called, and then I descend down to Lukla, and like during the doctor consultation time, everything was fine, everything was normal.
This was before you started the journey, right?
Yeah, this is like the beginning. So they checked everything. They said one of my kidney was slightly enlarged, but they couldn't figure out what. So and then I was in my room on my own, and then the sort of everything you feel emotion just multiplies, because you kind of think, okay, I'm on my own, I'm not gonna go ahead, like everything, like who's counting on me, everyone's like thinking I'm gonna be able to achieve these goals are gonna be disappointing, and then I'm starting to doubting myself, and I'm on my own, and I'm like crying, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna die on my own here.
Yeah.
Because it's so I didn't realize the other thing was like when you are in camp 2, this is about like 6,000, I think 6,000 height, and when you come down straight to Lukla, which is probably about 2,000, you do get afterwards sort of like you get these symptoms of descending too quickly, so you kind of have a slur speech. You feel kind of like drunk, just though type cool, but you're not. So your body's trying to adjust. So in my head, I'm thinking I'm a stroke, and there's no one, no one in the
Around
room.
you, yeah.
And I'm thinking like I'm gonna die on my own. So I was like recording the clip just to say, just in case someone finds this video.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah,
You
so
must have felt so isolated.
it
So
was-
kind of like, नजिकको मान्छेहरू obviously अब परिवारहरू त मेन अब बाबा मम्मीहरू त सबै I think यहाँ युकेमै हुनुहुन्थ्यो नि त
yeah.
You must have felt like I'm so far away from the
Yeah.
people that I count on the most खालको.
Yeah, so I thought I was gonna die that day, and I was literally like in my lowest mood ever, and then I was like recording the clip just in case someone finds it.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was tough
So
days.
त्यो moment ma, obviously it's very harrowing. You're alone and you feel like your body is not ready, even though your mind is like ready to climb. त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ कुन मोमेन्टमा चाहिँ त्यो अलिकति त्यो आशाको बाटो आयो that actually I can go back र मैले मेरो टिमलाई फेरि जोइन गर्न मिल्छ, मेरो विन्डो चाहिँ स्टिल खोलेको छ and I can try again भन्ने चाहिँ कहिले भयो?
I think when I reached Kathmandu, and then when I went to hospital to do normal checkup, the whole checkup, like chest x-ray,
Wait, Lukladekhi फेरि काठमाडौँ पनि आएको?
Yeah, so
wow.
so the doctor told me I need to rest for 3 days. So in the first day we did an initial check, like urine test, ultrasound of the kidneys and everything. And त्यति बेला हो कि he said, oh, like the right side ko alikati enlarged छ, but he couldn't tell. And bear in mind, this isn't Lukla, and there is like bare minimum in there, and then they are doing everything they can. But I was still not satisfied. Because in my head, I'm thinking like there should be something wrong with my body for me to not be able to go ahead.
Yeah.
So I was still not satisfied. Like everything was fine. So then on my 4th day, I was still getting out of breath, like walking, like normal walking. And then I said, no, I think I need to go back to Kathmandu and just do the whole checkup just to get my like kehi त wrong भएको छ like to nikalnalai. So and then I flew back down to Kathmandu and then did the whole checkup, and they said everything was fine.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think when I was talking to other mountaineers, and they said it was a sign of hypothyroid, so low temperature. So your body, because when I reached Lukla, I was sweating.
Yeah.
And when they checked the temperature, it was just reaching 36. So during that time, I think my body temperature was pretty low. So that's what they thought it might be hypothermia. Yeah, so that's one of the symptoms.
So after Kathmandu, after you got the kind of doctor bata sabai thikai cha khalko uyo त्यो messaging, that gave you the, I guess, the boost that I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, and then even like Nirmal and Mingma and everyone elite team was saying, okay, now just rest, and then we'll let you know when the next heli will be up. And then all I was doing is like eating and just trying to be having a positive mindset, because obviously your team is already reached like acclimatization, but all they're waiting for is a summit push. So good weather ko लागि पर्खिरहेको छ भनेर. So I try not to think too much. And once I reach the base camp as well, like obviously you're gonna get quite anxious, you're gonna get bored of waiting, but I think I have to so kind of like talk to myself and just say, look, don't rush, just one day at a time, and just go for a little hike. So I went for like hike down to Goroshib, Kalapatar. So I just to get my mind ready and just have a positive mindset and not think too much that, okay, I've been to number like team 2 now, and then everything's gonna go backwards. And people are like, especially when other people are summited and they keep messaging and say, where are you? Why are you not summited?
Oh my god, eh?
Yeah, so it's
sounds like when you're at university and your friends are graduating and they're like, oh my god, timi kina graduation ceremony ma aina khalko, and you're like, because I have one more year left.
Yeah, so I have to like keep explaining. I was like, I got ill and I have to do the whole rotation again. So everything have to be sort of set back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was long, but I think I learned to be more patient, because I think Aru Mountain Machi, you literally do 3 weeks and you finish with expedition. With the Everest, like literally my expedition was nearly 2 months, and that's a long time waiting just to reach your goal. And then a lot of time, you got plenty of time in base camp, so you do a little bit reading books. and then just have the mindset of just not to rush, just take one step at a time, one day at a time, and just once they say, okay, we're going tomorrow, then that's it. You have to get your heads on and then start focusing.
Yeah. So like talking about your downtime in Everest or downtime in camp भनौँ हैन त्यति बेला त्यो समयमा आफूले त इन्स्टाग्राममा पनि भिडियोहरू अपलोडहरू गरिरहेको थियो है अनि हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ धेरै रमाइलो नै देखेको थियो त्यो एउटा डोम जस्तो क्या त्यो भेरी सी थ्रु डोम भित्र त्यहाँ यु नो टाइम पासहरू हाँसिरहेको and I think you also shared a story where you were listening to the podcast as well this podcast and I was just like oh wow सबै कनेक्सनहरू पनि रहेछ very like व्यवस्थित नै देखेको थियो so downtime चाहिँ अब and is this every expedition त्यस्तो हुन्छ कि or is it more because the team or the company that you went with was very not equipped and you know धेरै resource भएको कारणले हो
so base camp so once it's a season time to climb they provide you with Wi-Fi although it's a little bit pricey so normally like so there used to be just one company but now there's a second company so there's always a competition so it can cost you so like normally they do like gigabyte and stuff like that so it can be 50,000 rupees or it be $50 just to use it for 30 days but bear in mind like lots of people are connected so your signal's going to be poor because more people are using it so I was using both two companies so if one doesn't work
oh my god so you spent a good amount
yes
on internet
on just the Wi-Fi so we have this everyone has access to internet obviously you have to pay for the use of the internet and then for our dining cafe because I think because I went around to other camp so we were quite fortunate obviously Elite has a very modern dome very large with a cafe you can have like proper Americano roasted beans Americano
it looks like it looks lush
I think we were the second company to have that big dome but I think we're the first to have a cafe proper cafe with a coffee machine so so it was but when you go to other camp they have small dining tent not much facility but they're fun wherever you go it's the people that count so
definitely and at the end of the day like the goal is to climb Everest for a lot of people who are there and depending on your means you can have different experience and there's something for everyone I guess that's what it is on the day or let's say 27th May ko कति समयमा चाहिँ
so it was 5 in the morning when I reached at the top
5 in the morning so the 12-hour cycle before 5 a.m. what are some of the things going through your head because now you've left Kathmandu you've gone back and you've joined the rotation and so on अब त थाहा छ that this is it and it's all clear and that त्यो 12-hour period leading up to 5 a.m. 27th May मा चाहिँ what's on your mind
first I was so tired so I would say म चाहिँ जहिले पनि ढिलो नै पुग्थेँ क्याम्पमा I used to take my time अनि क्याम्प 4 मा चाहिँ समिट पुशको अगाडिपट्टि we reached 6 p.m. so again I was the last one to reach the camp everyone's already like in the tent already had the food so Pasang Bai was my guide so we found our tent and then they already were boiling the water so it's like the ice so our water is ice so we have to melt the ice down so one of the bai was already there preparing the water and the Pasang Bai was made some noodle soup so we ate that so by the time we finished eating it was 7 o'clock and then he just turns around and goes okay Didi we're going to leave at 8 o'clock so you got 1 hour sleep
like 7 मा खाएर अनि त्यसको next 1 hour मै
1 hour
oh my god
so I was like 1 hour what am I going to do in 1 hour because the other team were leaving at 9 so he decided because I was always behind so he wanted to make sure I wasn't falling back so he said others are leaving at 9 so we're going to leave 1 hour early
okay
and so I was like okay fine so I felt like I just closed my eyes and it was time to get up so we got ready at 8 o'clock. I don't think I ate any breakfast because I was already had noodles. So I just had some like sweets with me. And त्यसपछि we start walking. It's pitch black, so there's nothing. All you see is your foot at the front walking because you have your head torch on. And we kept walking. It was never ending like height. It was like I keep looking because he's at the front of me, so I keep looking past him, and the hills just keep going up. It's not coming. There's no break. So when I think 1 hour later, and you can see down, people start like walking around because you see like lights flickering around. So you think, okay, they're already up, so they're behind me. So all I've been thinking is 1 foot ahead of me, keep walking, till it's daytimes. And then I think it was around 5 o'clock ish. So like the dawn was already broken, so you can see like orange light. It was so beautiful, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is. But then you just admire the view. You don't even have time, or your brain is not even clicked in to say, oh, I need to capture this moment. So all you do is just capture with your eyes. And I think it was about close to the summit, and then there was this one part that was very tricky. It's literally a slope of rock, and you have to walk sideways like a crab walk.
Yeah.
So it's not even walking forward and holding onto the rope. It's just like sideways, like walking sideways, and then next to the rock is a dead body, and I think, okay, I need to make sure I don't slip and step on the dead body. So one part that I will say that was the hardest part of the Everest. Is that part. And then
but when you see, sorry to interrupt here, but like यो समयमा अब हामीले कति पढिरहेको हुन्छ सुनिरहेको हुन्छ that Everest there's a lot of dead bodies or remnants of people who have climbed before, and I guess things haven't gone as well. त्यो रिमाइन्डर्सहरू देखिन्छ आफू त्यो चढिरहेको बेलामा त्यो देख्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ किनभने अब अहिले त you've come back, you're fine, you've survived, हैन तर when you're doing that, do you kind of feel like, oh shit, like that could be me खालको त्यस्तो डर हुन्छ कि, or are you so like त्यो डर नै हटिसकेको हुन्छ?
So at the beginning I kind of was worried about like finding bodies or seeing bodies. But luckily, because I wear contact lenses, so during that time I didn't. So there's a body there, but it's not clear. And then I just make sure I'm not looking. I know there's body, so I'm not looking there. Yeah. But then that doesn't sort of distract me from my goals. So I just keep like my heads down and keep walking. And I know like there is a body there, and you think, okay, that's someone like who wanted to be at the top. But I try not to think that way. I just focus on what I need to do. Yeah. Focus on trying to be safe myself. And then just keep walking till you reach at the top. And then I think it was 5 minutes before we reached the top, and then passing by at that time it was behind me. He goes, oh Didi, agadi हेर्नुभयो there's like a player like flags at the summit, and he goes, oh, the player flag said that's a summit. And I was like, I couldn't believe myself, because I was like thinking, oh my god, I'm really gonna reach the summit of Everest. Because in my head all I was thinking is I need to just keep walking. And then when you reach the destination and you just I was gobsmacked. I couldn't, like, all I did was just stand and just look around and just admire the beauty, because I couldn't, like, I was just speechless.
It must be such a euphoric feeling, and to know that you've reached obviously the highest point on Earth, but also you've reached your goal and all that you've been working towards. And there's always, whenever somebody makes it a mission to climb Everest, there's a lot of backing involved, people and so on, and your personal own challenges. जुन चाहिँ अब अघि आफूले बताएको थियो हस्पिटलमा, त्यो त बताएको मात्र हो, त्यो भन्दा अरु पनि कति थियो होला हैन, but to kind of actually it's all worth it भन्ने खालको, I mean it's all worth it भन्नाले यही पुग्नुको लागि त मैले गरेको हो नि भन्ने खालको त्यो point त्यही स्टार्टली हुन्छ नि त. So that's pretty amazing. I just want to ask, जुन फोटोजहरुमा भिडियो क्लिप्सहरुमा हामीले देखेको थियौ त्यसमा हामीले तिमी मात्र देख्यौ हैन, तर तिमीले भनेको थियौ नि त that आफ्नो पछाडी त कति धेरै अरुहरु पनि थियो भनेर. So त्यति बेला चाहिँ like is there a bit of a queuing process, like उसको फोटो भइराछ कोही पनि नजाऊ त्यहाँ खालको त्यस्तो हुन्छ कि?
So the first त्यो हुन्छ नि लाइनमा बसेको चाहिँ it was my first rotation जाने बेलामा, there was a lot of people. And then जब म बिरामी भएपछि I had to fall back to team 2. त्यति बेला चाहिँ literally it was end of season, well coming up to end of season, so there was only 3 company left. So we were quite fortunate, there was no queue. The only queue we'll have was like from our own team. किनभने हामीसँग 6 वटा client थियो, I think 1 fell ill, so it came down to 5 clients, and the rest was Serpa, Bayar, Dayaru. So we are fortunate in the sense of there was no queuing at all when we had to go up. So when we reached the summit, I was the third client to reach the summit. Before me, there was one of the client from India. So he was just finishing his video, and he was like singing his national anthem. So I was just waiting. So by the time we reached there, they literally finished, and then
you got the place to
platform to do whatever. And behind me, there was I think by the time we finished, they only the team that was behind me were just catching up. So there was plenty of gap. But I heard like team 1, because they went before and there was lots of people there, they had to queue quite significant amount of time was lost just queuing. And there was the team itself was quite big. They had a client was 13 clients. And when you add the Sherpa and everyone, is like 26, 27. I think it was nearly 30 members of one company. So but I think it's best to go last.
Well, it worked out for you. It worked out for you. Great moments. Another question. I mean, quite साथीहरु त छन् हैन जो चाहिँ अब एभरेस्ट चढेकोहरु तर उनीहरुसँग कहिले पनि यति धेरै कुरा चाहिँ गरे छैन होला किनभने you only meet छोटो मिठो तरिकाले नि त तर while you're here I just want to ask so you're on top of you're on top of Sagarmatha and you're taking photos, making video clips. Is that on an iPhone or what is that on? किनभने कहिले कहिले त त्यो चिसो ठाउँमा र तातो ठाउँमा पनि your mobile device is just shut off नि त. So I wanted to ask, what do you actually use?
So we use our mobile. There are other people who takes their proper camera. But you just have to be like, so I think this is my 3rd mountain, so I've been learning each expedition. I'm learning because last time Manasluma, I didn't manage to capture my summit photo. I have to ask someone else to take a picture because my phone died. All I did was like 20 minutes for that summit, and I thought I'll just take a video of the sun that was just coming up. And then as soon as I clicked it, literally 2 seconds, and then the phone died. So then I learned so when you take a camera, so you need to make sure your battery's off. Or if you're taking like GoPro, because I was taking GoPro as well. So you take your spare batteries, put in a socks, and then put inside of your jacket, not the outside of your summit suit ko bahira चाहिँ pocket ma rakhyo भने चाहिँ चिसोले खान्छ के. Because I did that first time Manasluma, so I've learned the hard way that I need to put it inside. तातो बनाउनु पर्छ.
Wow. Oh my god. These are like things that I would never have thought, and
I didn't think.
I'm still surprised that iPhone ले नै खिच्यो भन्दाखेरि किनभने मैले त काला पत्थरमा नि मेरो फोन निकाल्दाखेरि नै it just died.
So you just need to keep all the batteries and phones चाहिँ एकदम तातो राख्नु पर्छ के, so warm, so you put it like with the socks inside अनि but I find that iPhone भन्दाखेरि Android's phone are much better. त्यो altitude र चिसोमा चाहिँ. So
Wow, that's so interesting. Oh my god. I'm so glad and I'm happy that you got the pictures and the footage because after the thupri pani footage and I'm happy that whatever device of phone that you were carrying survived that really
coldness.
The coldness with you as well. So of course, going back to in terms of you Halka mentioned your Everest climb was associated or it was in support in recognition of the NHS, Colchester Hospital, I believe, and also Children and Youth First, which is a non-governmental organization in Nepal. What's your link with the NHS?
So मेरो career first I'm a registered nurse. So I still practice nursing. I still काम गर्दैछु. So during the COVID time, obviously there was no traveling, there's no work in Nepal. So I pretty much was working like full time, but never over like hours in the hospital. And then I get to see like the struggle. Sometimes the staff have to go through, sometimes the patient have to go through, learning of all this COVID and like what they got. So that kind of like I just felt like I need to do and then you have the government doing the like clapping and stuff, and then you think that's not enough. I need to do so much for them because they have done so much for this nation during the COVID time, and I know they do get appreciation, the recognition there. तर इज नट इनफ के उनीहरूले जति गरिरहेको छ सो आई वान्टेड टु डु kind of like tribute यो एभरेस्ट एक्सपिडिसन इज अ म्यासिभ obviously expedition so उनीहरूको लागि चाहिँ I thought I'd do something in a sense of thank you भन्नलाई चाहिँ so I decided to raise money for NHS Together Charity भन्ने हो so what they come up during this COVID time was so I have a छुट्टै fund एउटा fund चाहिँ जुन चाहिँ staff well-being mentally affected during the COVID time so उनीहरूको लागि चाहिँ whatever means it is whether it's a counseling whether it's some financial support they're struggling with or if it's like just a staff room a decent place to have a break त्यस्तोमा चाहिँ उनीहरूले त्यो money raise गरेको चाहिँ use गर्छ same thing कोलचेस्टर हस्पिटल जुन चाहिँ म काम गर्छु उहाँले पनि सिमिलर अपिलको लागि फन्ड गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो सो त्यो दुईवटा अनि फाइनली आई थोट आई निड टु कनेक्ट समथिङ विथ नेपाल भएको कारणले चाहिँ मैले पहिलादेखि नै थ्रु यु चिल्ड्रेन युथ फर्स्ट को जुन चाहिँ उहाँले गर्नुभएको काम आई रियली एप्रिसिएट वाट दे डुइङ स्पेसली उहाँहरूको त्यो भिजन हुन्छ एजुकेसन फर अल was what in my heart like to support them so उहाँको लागि पनि I need to raise money भने चाहिँ तीनवटा च्यारिटीको लागि चाहिँ I kind of like combined and said this is what I'm doing for the Everest expedition भने चाहिँ त्यसरी गएको थिएँ
That's incredible. मलाई त्यो NHS को जुन तरिकाले अहिले भर्खर you elaborated on it that it's actually for the people the workforce behind NHS and for their well-being for their betterment in facilities and so on. But that completely makes sense, and I feel like every workforce should prioritize that as well. And I think that coming from you is such a great gesture. And of course, like you were part of the whole workforce as well, and you know I remember seeing your stories then on your Instagram of a mask and then you know it wasn't just there were stories like that in plenty, whether it's people working for the National Health Service or people who are working as support workers providing care for all different types of people. So you know, hats off to you for combining that as well as the Nepal-based charity CYF, which I saw that you also went and visited CYF. Was that just before, or
so it was before the expedition? So the children wanted to like they had some questions regarding like Mountaineer, Everest, and plus they invited to see the space as well to see where the money is gonna go. So it was nice. It was a bit far. I didn't realize how far it was. But yeah, it was nice to see all the children, to see the school, and they're so
I mean Kathmanduko or like let's say Lalitpurko एउटा कुनामा छ तर पनि it's nice that complete बेग्लै संसार छ नि त हैन अनि त्यहाँ वरिपरि चाहिँ you do feel like यो त गाउँै होला जस्तो खालको टाइपको हैन even though it's like you know modern buildings and stuff but in a way it's very far खालको टाइपको but I know. So त्यो समय त when you saw the children and so on, and you know this might link into bigger conversations you know दिदी त अब सगरमाथा चढ्नु आटेको भन्ने तरिकाले भाइ बहिनीहरुले चिन्यो भेट्यो हैन त्यो भएर क्वेशनहरु सोध्यो होला. Now I don't know if you've gone back, but if you do go back I guess it will be like दिदीले त सगरमाथा चढेर आएको खालको, right? And त्यो conversation piece then I think it's such a profound piece for young people किनभने कतिपयमा हामीले चाहिँ अब सगरमाथा चढ्ने or यो खोलामा डाइभ हान्ने इत्यादिहरुमा चाहिँ हामीले जहिले सोच्छौं त्यो चाहिँ एउटा दाइले मात्र गर्न सक्छ हैन केटा मान्छेले मात्र गर्न सक्छौं भनेर तर you know you've become that example to so many people because you've done that, and there's been many women who've done it before you and there will be many women who will do it after, but equally it just seems like it's never enough because and what's your experience about that? I know हामीले अघि अलिकति कुरा चाहिँ गरेको थियौ हैन तर like how's that you know how's that
I've been like talking to other Nepali female climbers and then we always come with the same like I guess it's because Nepal is still trying to be more open-minded, more broad and more like equality अझै छ काम गर्नेमा. And then the one question that always we get asked as a female climber is first they will say oh कुन चाहिँ mountain चढ्नु भयो, and then you say let's say I've just done Sagarmatha, so I say Sagarmatha, and then they'll be like okay टुप्पामै चढ्नु भयो I've been asking, like talking to other female, and they said they get asked that as well. But then the male climbers, they don't get asked like tuppaima puyo haneera. So obviously they'll ask kunja mountain choryo, and then but yeah, as a female, we always get they don't believe you that you done the climbing, or I always find like especially when I'm going towards the expedition like I had recent banda pani was in Manasluko Belama. So one of the pilot, because they always don't talk to me thinking I'm non-Nepali. And त्यसपछि चाहिँ नि निर्मलले चाहिँ नो नेपाली नै हो बोल्नु भनेर, so he gave me a headset. So the pilot was talking to me, and then he just made a remark saying, "Oh, तपाईँ पनि climbing नै गर्नुहुन्छ कि तपाईको शेर्पा भाइले चाहिँ बोकेर लग्नुहुन्छ?" And I was like, "Do you ask this question to like हुन्छ नि केटा मान्छेलाई?"
Yeah.
So you take it like kind of like that jokey type. They're trying to like poke at you and say, "Oh, can you really climb?" Like हुन्छ नि. So you do get experience, and you do, as a female, you do have to experience that. But I just shrug it off. Obviously, it annoys me, but then I use that annoyance into like power. So like, okay, I will show you and see like.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not a fluke, you know.
No.
And I think Everest is not a fluke for most people, because there's lots of stories ra dherai aru climbing experiences aru ले add गरेर
Yeah.
Sagarmatha पुगिन्छ मान्छेहरु हैन. अनि and you know, your mountain kind of the big peaks journey started from 2018, हैन.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that mountain, which I will not pronounce,
Aconcagua.
that mountain, yes, is the highest in South America.
South
right?
America, yeah.
Highest in South America. And then Manastu bhayo, अब Sagarmatha bhayo. And now, what's next?
Welcome to A Star, your complete financial solution. The A stands for first class service and the star relates to you, our most important clients. We are a team of whole market advisors with more than 10 years of excellent service. Serving nationwide, we specialized in home mortgages and remortgages, wills and estate planning, residential sales and lettings, property management, real estates, insurances and pensions. For both personal and business financial advices, please feel free to contact us for consultant. We look forward to working with you. A Star Financial Solution, making your move memorable.
This episode of Action with Podcast is brought to you by our gold partner, A-Star Financial Solutions UK, who'll be there to help you throughout the home buying process from the initial assessments to the day that you get your keys. Our silver partner, TapTapSend, with great rates, zero fee, and instant transfers, sending money to Nepal has never been so easy. Get the app today and use the code ACTION10, especially for our Action with listeners to get a £10 bonus. Tap, tap, and send now. Also, a big mention to our silver partner, New Lakshmi Jewelers, home to a stunning range of jewelries and timeless collections from the heart of Aldershot. Finally, our bronze partner is Nepal Authentic Dining, where authentic and delicious Nepali food is served right from Shepherd's Bush and Boston Manor. And our bronze partner, Nepali Music Festival UK 2022, taking place at the Harrow Leisure Centre on December 16 with Trishna Gurung and Ekdev Limbu and more. Enjoy the episode.
So during 2018, when I was climbing Aconcagua, I always wanted to do, okay, my next challenge will be 7. I need to, I want to complete 7 summit. So I've done 2, Everest, Asti Bhakhar bhayo. So next year, I'm planning to do Kilimanjaro and Denali. We'll see about the planning process. खास गरी मैले Everest चाहिँ यो last year गर्नुपर्ने हो. But
is that the one in Europe?
Yeah, Europe ko चाहिँ Russia ma छ. But like I learned that to come there you have to do a quarantine 14 days in military hospital. Oh, wow. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I can wait for another time.
Yeah, another time. अहिले चाहिँ अब war भइरहेको छ.
Of course.
So it's going to be tricky, but we'll see. I think it's going to take me 5 years more to complete whole, like financially. If I plan it correctly.
Now that you've opened the can of worms about finances, let me ask that question. अब सगरमाथा चढ्ने or ठुल्ठुलो हिमाल चढ्ने मान्छेहरू कतिको रहर होला, तर कतिको त रहर भए पनि उहाँहरूको अब you know सोसियो इकोनोमिक सिचुएसन इत्यादिले साथ नदेला होइन
Yeah, yeah.
कति त अब सहयोगहरू कति मान्छेहरूले त बटुली पनि रह हुन्छ होइन अनलाइन क्राउड फन्डिङहरू गरेर पनि तर when you're trying to climb such a beast of a mountain
Yeah.
यो क्राउड फन्डले पनि कति नपुग्ने पनि देखिन्छ धेरै साधारण मान्छेहरूको होइन so like in your kind of experience and journey like how have you kind of managed that? Obviously I know that you have multiple work
Yeah.
which अर्को काम त हामी कुरा नै गरेको छैन त्यसको बारेमा आइपुग्नु पर्दाखेरि तर like how do you kind of juggle all of that?
So like obviously Everest ko chai I was fortunate enough kinane aba 2 years अब traveling गरेन so there's no spendage there. I had lots of saving अनि I think 22 नै मैले पहिलादेखि प्लान गरेको थिएँ 22 चाहिँ I'm going to do Everest भनेर and then obviously unfortunate बाट चाहिँ fortunate भयो कि okay I have lots saving अब time पनि अब everyone's learning the fact that time doesn't wait for everyone. You have to do whatever you need to do अहिले नै पछि अब के हुन्छ थाहा हुँदैन सो मेरो सेभिङ चाहिँ खास गरी मैले घर किन्ने भनेर चाहिँ राखिरहेको थिएँ एन्ड आई डिड ह्याड सम स्पेयर्स माउन्टेनिङको लागि चाहिँ म जहिले पनि छुट्टै सेभिङ गर्छु so I just went ahead and I said okay I think I'm going to use all my saving and then do Everest किनभने अहिले गरेन भने I don't know when next year I don't know what's going to happen at the same time अब यो it's a good opportunity भनेर चाहिँ त्यसरी अघि बढेको and then I think most people get confused मैले charity उठाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ they think I'm collecting money for my expedition को भनेर but that's like मेरो जुन चाहिँ fundraising भइरहेको छ charity that 100% goes to them. Nothing has been used on my मेरो expenditure expedition so everything that I saved went for buying equipment or for all the expedition there and buying Wi-Fi.
Yeah. As we found out today. No, that's amazing. And I think, in life, you have to make these decisions. Like, what do you want for yourself?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, if you really want it, then you'll make it happen. And or you make that decision. Okay, you know what? That pot of money that I saved for that house, etc. Let me use it towards this kind of type.
Yeah.
I know because, personally thinking like घर त बिस्तारी पनि किन्न सकिन्छ इत्यादि you can work towards it तर यो उमेर यो जोश यो रहर हैन especially something as physically or mentally grueling जस्तो to climb a mountain त्यो त सधैँ चाहिँ नहोला नि त हैन so त्यस्तो खालको I think it's a bit of decision making on each person's part as well which is pretty cool yes so Everest भयो charities को बारेमा कुरा गर्यो nursing को बारेमा कुरा गर्यो अनि so as a nurse how did you end up in the world of Nepali cinema?
I think that just happened. It wasn't really planned. Obviously, like when I was in college, I always wanted to do like modeling kshetra tira, but I think my height didn't allow me.
But if I remember, I think Yuki ma banneko Nepali music video ma pani ek दुई एउटा कि at least एउटा मात्र खेलेको थियो नि हैन yeah do you remember what it was? I completely forgot now.
It was the singer ko चाहिँ देव लिम्बू.
Okay.
And I think the title say I don't know.
Director ko थियो. I feel the director was more better known होला हैन र?
No, director was Milan Chams.
Okay.
So through that work I met him and then he sort of did audition and said he was the one that encouraged me to come to film industry ma. But during that time did you realize I wasn't really keen on going to film industry because it's a lot of it's a big project. You have to have lots of time invested in it. Whereas in music video, it just takes a couple of days and then that's done. Whereas in the film project takes good month and then you have to think about post-production, which takes another month. So it's a lot of commitment. So I wasn't really keen, but he kind of encouraged me and said, look, just try and see how you get on. Because from his point of view, he thinks I've got potential. So I just trusted him and just, okay, I'll just do one and see how it goes. And I did. And then Birmingham went well received by the audience. And this was the next project I offer. Then I had to make a decision because I was doing permanent a registered nurse in a hospital, and I have to make a decision in sense of like what do I want to do. So I didn't want to completely stop being nurse because I enjoyed that. I enjoy caring for people. At the same time, I thought, okay, I need to see this part of any creative side, see how much I can do. त्यही भएर चाहिँ I decided to have both balance work गरेर चाहिँ I went ahead. So I do locum nursing now. I still do locum, so it's kind of flexible. It works for me. किनभने if I want to do any project, I just take a day, like I don't work. I did take a holiday and then go to Nepal and work. And then if I want to earn some cash again, I come back to UK and then work as a nurse. Yeah.
And I think that's a really nice, it's you're so fortunate to be able to have that balance as well. किनभने कहिलेकाहीँ अब एउटै कुरा धेरै गऱ्यो भने पछि त त्यो you get lost नि त हैन, like म actually किन पो यो गर्न सुरु गरेछु भन्ने खालको हैन, जे कुरा पनि सुरुमा चाहिँ क्या like it's all like झिलिमिली खालको हुन्छ अनि गर्न थालेपछि त okay
it's the same thing over and over.
But now you get to dip in dip out खालको, and I think that's the flexibility of like locum, which is like I think one of the attractive things. त्यो freelance गर्नु को चाहिँ Bir Bikram worked out really well. Bir Bikram was a success. I was there at the screening in the UK as well, and I think you did a great job in the movie. Some hit songs came out of that as well, and I think Nepali cinema ma chahi अब एक दुईवटा hit song भयो भने चाहिँ it makes your I guess I don't know, like career much more memorable जस्तो पनि बुझिन्दो रहेछ हैन. तर त्यस पछाडी हैन मन्त्र भयो जुन चाहिँ यो इयर मात्र निस्क्यो I believe, अनि Mr. झोले पनि, अनि I feel like there's one more.
So Happy Days say I did like a song and then a little bit small role मात्र थियो, and after that I did Deeya Rani. Deeya Rani चाहिँ got released Nepal र UK मा. I think they were planning to release 2020, but then COVID happened. So I think यो year दशैं they are aiming for दशैं or maybe December time.
Okay.
नेपालमा चाहिँ.
नेपालमा. अनि okay यति एउटा मुभिजहरु गरेर चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ हैन आफ्नै careerलाई फर्केर हेर्दाखेरि like what are your thoughts on it? Like, are you happy with the movies so far and your own experience plus the experience of the Nepali film industry?
I think I'm fortunate again, like being able to balance nursing life at the same time. Your film industry must say, in order to, I think you have to have an opportunity at the same time. You need to have a luck in order to be successful. I had obviously all those really wonderful projects. I had opportunity to work with so many wonderful people. So I don't think I've got any regrets. I think I'm happy with what decision I make. And let's see film industry how long I can कति सम्म टिकिन्छ. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but I think you have like quite a different, I mean, till now, your life has been quite colorful, right? So I feel like, if the film thing continues and, and cinema in Nepal continues and, provides more for especially female actors and so on, that's even more exciting. If not, I feel like you have enough to keep your plate busy as well. Yeah, I think film industry must say, especially female like say there's only certain limit of years left in the career. I think we need to progress. Hopefully, let's see. There's lots of female directors. And there's lots of कतिको family भएर फेरि career comeback गर्नु भएको छ, so which is going quite good. So I think it's changing. I think it takes lots of time. There's a progression there. So अहिलेसम्म गरेको फिल्महरु मध्ये कुन फिल्ममा चाहिँ it will be like very dear to you?
Oh, that's I think everything. I think most people still recognize me as June from Bir Bikram, because I think first भएको कारणले पनि it's always going to be that special. But every single project मेरो लागि चाहिँ there is a story, there's a memory in each project. अनि हरेक प्रोजेक्टमा केही नि सिकाइरहेको हुन्छ. So तर अब dearly भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I will say Bir Bikram.
Okay. And कुन फिल्ममा चाहिँ धेरै नै दुःख गर्नु परेर बन्नेको मुभी चाहिँ त्यो फिल्म लाग्छ?
dukha in sense of like
धेरै मेहनत गरेको or even as a unit नै धेरै दुःख पनि गर्नु परेको हैन किनभने अब आई थिंक आफूले खेलेको फिल्महरु कति चाहिँ अलिकति गाउँघर परिवेशको or अलिकति हिमाली भेगमा खिचेको मुभीहरु पनि देखिरा हुन्छ नि त and I can't imagine the background र पछाडी चाहिँ कतिको early morning or चिसो or कता कता हैन पुगेर shoot गर्नुपर्छ so like dukha in that sense as well
dukha in sense of like मेरो like मैले एकदम हार्ड वर्क गर्नु परेको भने चाहिँ I would say दया रानी किनभने त्यो क्यारेक्टर निभाउनलाई चाहिँ I have to be not myself I have to be so like completely different person जुनमा चाहिँ मैले भोगे अहिलेसम्म भोगेको छैन त्यो लाइफ हैन मेबी फ्युचरमा भोगिन्छ होला तर त्यो जुनमा चाहिँ मैले एक्सपिरियन्सै गरेको छैन एन्ड ट्राइङ टु ड्र द इमोसन इट वाज भेरी टफ फर मी त्यो क्यारेक्टर गरिसकेपछि इट टुक अ गुड मन्थ फर मी टु लाइक गेट आउट अफ के किनभने त्यो क्यारेक्टरमा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई वाज so emotionally involved to the point like break time I was crying I felt like I was crying because I was that character okay? I couldn't break off so त्यो चाहिँ एकदम गाह्रो नै लाग्यो दुःख दिएकोमा चाहिँ I would say मन्त्र I learned a lot त्यो मन्त्रमा चाहिँ I learned कस्तो फिल्म इन्डस्ट्रीको बारेमा but then it made me kind of like listen to my gut किनभने त्यसमा चाहिँ मेरो गट फिलिङले चाहिँ कि there's always some dodgy going on त्यसले चाहिँ त्यो प्रोजेक्ट गरेपछि चाहिँ I learned I have to listen to my gut अनि त्यसरी नै अघि बढ्नुपर्छ भनेर yeah
that's nice and I think Mantra actually came quite early in your career right
yes so Mantra was second project that unfortunately due to dispute अनि अरु के भइरहेको थियो त्यही भएर चाहिँ it came just like ठ्याक्कै Everest गएको बेलामा
yeah no I did see but I guess it's good that you had that kind of learning experience quite early on in your career and this patari like you're not wrong for feeling that way and you have a reason to proceed in that manner but yeah no I think the त्यो आफ्नो filmography मा हेर्दाखेरि very genuine characters and I think it's a really so far good selection of movies जस्तो लाग्छ and त्यो चाहिँ consciously decide गरेर भएको हो कि or roles हरु पनि धेरै चाहिँ त्यस्तै तरिकाको मात्र आइरहेको छ
I think Nepali film industry मा चाहिँ कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ भने once you do one character त्यसको छाप बस्ने रहेछ क्या and they so when they develop a story and then there's a character which is similar or त्यस्तै भनौँ न गाउँले रोल अथवा छ भने चाहिँ the first thing they think is who has done the best पहिला अनि त्यसरी चाहिँ भनौँ न एक्टरहरू चुज हुँदो रहेछ in Nepali film industry rather than saying okay उसको काम राम्रो छ maybe if you give this challenge उनले चाहिँ भनौँ यो क्यारेक्टर निभाउन सक्छ भन्दा पनि they will think more पहिला कसले चाहिँ राम्रो काम गरेको थियो पहिला यस्तो सिमिलर क्यारेक्टर अनि उनीहरूलाई दिने भने त्यस्तो हुँदो रहेछ so because I started off with doing a गाउँले रोल हरेक अफर maybe like क्यारेक्टरको पर्सनालिटी डिफ्रेन्ट भए तापनि जुन चाहिँ गाउँले रोल उनीहरूलाई चाहिरहेको छ त्यसरी चाहिँ अफर आउँदो रहेछ मैले बुझेँ इभन दो आई ट्राई टु लाइक लुक फर अदर जुन चाहिँ अलिकति मोडर्नाइज अलिकति ब्रेक होस् किनभने मलाई आफूलाई फिल भइरहेको थियो हरेक क्यारेक्टर सिमिलर गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कतै कतै मिसिँदो रहेछ कि लाइक त्यो भनौँ न अब आफूले जति डिफ्रेन्ट गर्छु डिफ्रेन्ट पर्सनालिटी गर्छु भन्दा पनि कतै कतै पहिलाको रोलहरूमा चाहिँ अलिकति सिमिलर देखिँदो रहेछ मलाई चाहिँ त्यस्तो फिल भयो सो त्यही भएर चाहिँ मैले सकेसम्म चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट रोल खोज्थेँ तर अनफर्चुनेटली आई अलवेज युज टु गेट द सेम रोल सेम भन्दा पनि गाउँले रोल सो बट नेक्स्ट अब यो अन्तिम संस्कार द लास्ट रिचुअलमा चाहिँ आई एम कम्प्लिटली डिफ्रेन्ट so it's not gauli role
excited
yeah
by the way antim sanskar sounds really like alikati scary kind of spooky vibe am I getting the right vibe oh okay so
it's right yeah it's I think it's a little bit gruesome and a thriller type go so it kind of make you want to think a lot so I think audience will probably be more have to use the brain to like figure things out rather than just watch and like entertainment value go on that. Yeah, but I'm quite excited for this project.
Sounds very different for you as well in comparison to your selection of, into your past work.
Yeah. It's completely different. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's see how I go.
And that movie was publicly announced just 1 or 2 days after your Everest summit. Right,
yes,
so there was quite a lot of news, competing news. Everest ko pani film sign gareko pani. त्यही मौका पर्खेर film announce गरेको जस्तो बुझ्यो हैन.
I think they use a populist एकदम डरै गरेछ जस्तो.
But no, I think that works out well, and that's pretty exciting. And अब त्यो फिल्मको लागि नेपाल पनि अब छिटो नै जानु आँटिरहेको छ. So I wish you well त्यसको लागि चाहिँ. And I think Pradeep is the director, and Pradeep will be doing it. And he also wrote the story, right?
Yeah, so he's a writer and director. अनि हाम्रो अरू actorsहरू चाहिँ विजय लामा sir, and then we got Avon Upriti, I think he's new, and there's another I forgot his name. He's probably gonna but there's another
Swiftly
newcomer.
Moving on, we have quite a lot of talents in the movie, and that will be very nice. I'm assuming the movie will come out at some point early next year, or
I think that's what they're aiming for. So they want to finish the shoot I think in next few months, and then I think they will start the production. I think that's what they're aiming for is next year.
Nice, that's exciting. Ani, what would be your ideal role? Not ideal. What would be one role that you would like to try? यस्तो खालको चाहिँ गर्नु पायो भने, मान्छे हुनु पायो भने.
I always like मलाई चाहिँ action movie. I'm really fan of, a big fan of Jackie Chan. अनि मलाई चाहिँ कोही फिमेलहरू जुन चाहिँ मार्शल आर्ट गर्दाखेरि I get really like हुन्छ नि wow. So I kind of want to do action, but at the same time I really want to do villain. Because it's like I don't think people see me as villain.
You could be a bit of both. You could be a
badass villain.
Badass villain who is kicking, screaming, punching, doing whatever, and with I don't know, gadgets and so on.
Yeah.
I feel like तिमीले त्यो भन्दाखेरि मलाई हँसियाको याद आयो क्या. Milan Cham's movie, which I watched. The elements was there for that Hima Shrestha, I think she was the actor, and I thought she did great, but Kukurama think full stop. No, she did great. I think the story was not there. The film ko lagi चाहिँ, and a lot of the times मेरो biggest pet peeve about a lot of films, not just Nepali films, but the running time. And I feel like, okay, it really could have been shortened just to feel on. But I thought Hema Shrestha, like maybe they should cast Hema Shrestha, even though she doesn't act anymore. They should cast her, or actually you, in like, I don't know, another thing with like a Hasya and stuff. But that would be exciting.
I think the cast was chosen really well, wasn't it? Because I can't see anyone else apart from Hemadi doing the Hasya and the villain Anubdai.
Yeah, oh my god, he was so good. Even though he had like very Thore parts, but it was like, I mean, Thore lines, but he was quite visible in the movie, if I recall. Ani त्यही कारण just मलाई त्यो समग्र त्यो bitsमा हेर्यो भने चाहिँ there was like fun moments to take away. That's interesting, but yeah, I hope those characters come your way, and equally I feel like if that is your goal, I feel like you can easily create something,
create a role myself,
create a role yourself, whether it doesn't have to be a full feature movie, right? It can just be even like a short film, or a very impactful short film sometimes, with the right small cast and crew. Sometimes that makes even more impact, and with all this like digital thing changing and so on. On that talk about things changing, what kind of media, what kind of movies or things do you consume? Like what is the, like, what was, I don't know, the last or a movie that has really made an impact on you?
I think impact one. Then I tend to watch, because now you get so access to like Netflix, Amazon, so everything is just like there in the press of a button. So you have to go to cinema, or you have to rent a DVD. So it's kind of like you get excited for that. Or everything is like there instant. So for me, sometimes I just watch movie for time pass, or sometimes I watch movie to learn something, like just to see how they act, or okay, like for this movie, how they captured like the scene. So I tend to do more studying than actually enjoying. पहिला त अब like yeah, entertainment factor भन्ने हुन्थ्यो. Now I think since I've gone into film क्षेत्रमा, it's more like a study to me than trying to enjoy a movie. That's the way I say. Yeah, so there isn't a particular, like I said, like I do like a action movie. तर अरूहरू चाहिँ it's more learning like how to उनीहरूले चाहिँ कसरी act गरिरहेछ, कसरी dialogue भनिरहेछ. So yeah.
Love it. You're like a media studies student. Kosto khalko backdrop and parda kosto tha. You know, a lot actually, you know, when you're studying media, etc., they always say beyond the characters, the whole mise en scene and this match, and there's always a reason for something. There's always a reason why, like the mithai is here. I don't know if people can see the mithai, and actually I don't know why. Sometimes there is no reason, because Amru person just brought a mithai and it's just there. I was just thinking, when do we like have this? Do you want to have this?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, sure.
Oh, it's okay, thank you.
I'm just like, this is so cute. I'm gonna have this. It's like really colorful. I don't know if the camera can see it. Anyways, I had a question in my mind, and I feel like I would like to hear a response, but separate it into 3 parts.
Okay.
And the question is like, कहिले पनि आफूले के गरिरहेको बेलामा हैन, कामहरु गरिरहेको बेलामा or एउटा जिम्मेवार आफूले लिइसके पछाडी हाततेरिका मैले किन सुरु गरेछु यो, like यही छोड्दिनु पाए पनि हुन्थ्यो नि हैन. अनि is there any example to that question? One in films or music video, etc. One in maybe a trek or a mountain that you've climbed. Yeah, maybe those 2 parts.
I think film ma say music video that I only done one, so there isn't anything to compare. No, film ma say I have done one. June ma say after I've signed, and then June the manchela bete and I think okay, I think there's gonna be some issue or problem. Then I thought okay, I need to back out now. But then because the work was given through, it came through someone else, and then if I said no, or after signing no, it's kind of look bad on the other middle person either.
Of course.
So I had to like get through it, get it done, even though in between I had so much trouble. But yeah, that was that. Trekking sometimes I feel like even Everest going up, it was fine. Coming down, it was so tired. And I was just like telling the passing by, it's like, why did I choose this? Why did I decide to climb Everest? And then passing goes, I don't know, Didi, mero ta aba kamaiko layo gare. So that time I just like think, why did I decide to come? But then it's kind of like the moment ma ta aba dukha bhairaheko huncha ni ta, so you kind of take it negatively. But afterwards, when everything's done, when you come down to base camp safely, and when you in one piece, you haven't lost anything, you kind of, it's a sense of achievement goal huncha. त्यसपछि you think, okay, what's the next mountain? तर जुन चाहिँ त्यो प्रोसेसमा हुन्छ हिँडिराखेकोमा चाहिँ अब थाकिराखेको हुन्छ, दुखिरहेको हुन्छ खुट्टाहरू, then you kind of like question like why did I choose so expensive hobby and दुख दिने hobby. So yeah, do you have that moment?
That makes sense. And I think that's really honest and realistic as well, because a lot of the times we only hear like there's no giving up type and obviously you're not giving up. You know, I always wonder, more trekking or like I do it and I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea, and then you know, lightheaded by the I'm just like, oh my god, and I was like, I should be in Chitwan.
There is a moment, especially like female mountaineering, obviously when you're in your monthly or when you're in menstrual, you still have to climb. And you kind of think, okay, why I'm doing this? But you try to be as hygienic as possible, but you're in the mountains, so you can't be. Or if you need the toilet, like it's an open and like everyone can watch it. In the beginning, you think, okay, like people can watch me, do we? But then like after a couple of days, you think, no, I'm just gonna do it here. So you just like forget all the dignity, like everything, you just forget.
I guess that's the only way to be, because otherwise you're just gonna make your life harder, and regardless of who you are. And I mean, adding on to that, you're also somebody who is in a very public line of work as well नि त हैन सो झन् त्योहरु सोच्न थाल्यो भने त आफूलाई नै धेरै भारी मात्र हुन्छ नि त but yeah, has there ever been like a situation or a moment where you felt like actually I don't want to be like an actor or you know, actor that celebrity and an actor it's great, but sometimes the being a celebrity brings a lot of expectations, weight, and various sometimes pressures. But have you felt that or
no? I don't know, because I don't think most people recognize me when I'm walking about. So do you I kind of enjoy my free time at own time. It's not like I'm so famous, my faces is everywhere. Like as soon as I'm out, people can recognize me and I can't do anything. So I think because of that, I can do trekking, or I can go in the town. Like bazaar घुम्दाखेरि पनि people are not paying attention किनभने I don't think I'm that famous. त्यही भएको कारणले चाहिँ I kind of enjoy अब भनौँ न अब फेमको बारेमा चाहिँ अब प्रेमियरको बारेमा I can walk in the red carpet, be all glamorous at the same time. If I'm not working, then I can just like walk around in Tamil and people not gonna notice.
I think that's really nice, and I think you also are there for the right reason as well, right? Because I guess if you wanted to be famous more than an actor, then it may not be so great. But I think because you have at least 3 worlds here in terms of acting, nursing, and mountaineering, and you can juggle all of that, and then you're there for those specific reasons and not the noise around it, which is really cool. There was another question that I had. Oh yeah, so by now अब धेरै ठाउँहरु देखिएको छ हैन, घुमेको छ नेपाल भित्र नै पनि अब धेरै जग्गाहरुमा शूटको सिलसिलामा पनि पुगेको छ है, हिमाली भेगहरु त अब माउन्टेनियरिङ बाट पनि भयो UK मा अब हाम्रो आर्मी ब्याकग्राउन्डको हिसाबले पनि हैन धेरै ठाउँमा हामी बसेको छौं. When you think about like one day this is where I'd like to kind of retire, or this is the ideal place I'd like to be and spend more time on it, so is there a place in mind, or
I don't know, I don't see like, I don't know, it's really difficult at the moment because I've got 2 worlds. So I'm trying to balance it and just trying to figure out where do I want to settle. I kind of see myself settling in Nepal, but then when the family comes, then you think maybe Nepal is not very good, but like ideal place to raise your child. I don't know, it's tricky. But I can see myself probably in the next few years settling back in Nepal, do something. But yeah, well, we'll see when that happens.
I see. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting
Something's
answer.
brewing up.
Nepal ma pani kaha? Because Nepal ma pani kata, like because there's
well, it's going to be online, so there's no like specific place. But I'm thinking of
I know, wait a minute. Nepal ma चाहिँ कुन ठाउँ भनेको?
कुन ठाउँ? Oh.
It's got to be online.
I'm thinking of something. Oh no. It's well.
Oh, I know what you mean now. Brewing something भनेको.
I thought you were talking about that. No, okay. So in the sense of place, I do love like countryside. So I kind of like, so there's a place in Kutua, my grandfather's place. But no one lives there. Apparently it's got a beautiful place. So I want to probably build a house there, and then
you कतातिर पोखराहरुतिर?
No, this is like गाउँ पोखरा भन्दा नि माथि नै हो. So it's like गोरेपानी भन्दा पनि अर्को डाँडामा. So apparently there's a beautiful place, you can see all the mountains. So for me, ideal place to settle down will be like with the scenery, with the view, quiet place, simple life.
Yeah, and I feel like definitely we need to go back and build at least something if we have this space somewhere. The world is just getting hotter, and you just think, oh my god, like London host ki junai thau host, and the past 2 weeks showcased how hot it will be getting, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, we need to go high, or we need to have something that is quite high, so when things go kaput. And it's not a solution, but it's also
Yeah.
one of the things that we can do for ourselves. And yeah.
Means it's like mentally you have to be in kind of like peace area, because I can't stay in city area. I just get really, I don't know, with lots of people, with the pollution, I just get really suffocated.
Yeah.
So I need to be kind of place where I can be free, breathe nice air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously there's so much, in a way, हेऱ्यो भने अब जति कहिलेकाहीँ बुझ्दै गइन्छ धेरै न्युजहरू देखिँदै गइन्छ, there's so many things that are going wrong in the world, or maybe it has always been wrong, your world ma, तर हामीले आजभोलि अलिकति धेरै देखिएको हो कि धेरै सुनेको हो कि सोसियल मिडियाले गरेर पनि यस्तो कुराहरू अलिकति लिन थाल्यो, धेरै त्यसमा ध्यान दिन थाल्यो भने it can really impact the way that we think about the world, our place in society and future, हैन, हाम्रो hope पनि diminish हुन सक्छ, हैन. यस्तो बेलामा if you have any kind of personal experience, like कसरी and how do you kind of safeguard yourself from that, so you can be hopeful, so you can strive for something better?
I think it's very difficult to answer because everyone has a different way of coping. They have their own way of having a coping mechanism. So for me, I don't know, there's obviously now with the social media, there's always, or like what's happening. So there's always constant update. So sometimes you get too focused in other people's life than yourself. So kind of you have to rewind yourself and then probably have more time and think about what you want to achieve. And sometimes कस्तो हुन्छ भने चाहिँ especially if हाम्रो फ्यामिलीहरूले चाहिँ प्रेसर पनि दिइरहेको हुन्छ in terms of what you want to do with your life. त्योमा चाहिँ कहिलेकाहीँ they don't mean to, but they kind of like divert you in the way they want, हैन. So मैले चाहिँ के advice दिन चाहन्छु भने चाहिँ sometimes you have to pause, hold and think. What के भइरहेको छ अहिले तिम्रो लाइफमा, हैन, what do you want to achieve and how do you want to progress forward, किनभने हाम्रो लाइफ चाहिँ अहिले कस्तो भने चाहिँ fast pace, everything's instant, everything's now भइरहेको छ नि त. So sometimes you just have to pause, hold and think and figure out what you want to do the next, अब आफ्नो next plan के छ, what do you want to achieve. त्यसरी plan गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think it works. And then अनि कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ when you get so many information and you get stuck, अनि कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ influence हुन्छ आफ्नो family, friends बाट, जुनमा चाहिँ I think you don't want to do certain things, but then कति influence ले चाहिँ you kind of do it. So त्योमा पनि I think you have to kind of like ध्यान दिनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ, हैन, किनभने at the end of the day, it's your life. You have to live your life how you want to live. So yeah, I think that, I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just talking random.
No, that totally makes sense. I think the 3 steps that you mentioned, if we just do that, every now and again and kind of check ourselves, that's really important, because a lot of the times we just don't even pause. I know we don't even pause, and then that's when everything just builds and you're in this constant cycle of doing, but not necessarily knowing like why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and whether you want to do it. But yeah, that's a really good
sometimes
advice.
I think people, they're saying you don't the destination you don't just enjoy the point where you reach the destination. You enjoy the journey or to get to the destination. If it's like career focus or if it's of hobby or something, हामीले चाहिँ जहिले पनि एन्डमा मात्र फोकस गरेको हुन्छ, तर त्यो प्रोसेसमा त कहिले पनि फोकस गरेको हुन्छ. You have to enjoy the process and learn from it, and then if you make mistakes or if something happens, then you learn from that, नि त. कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ हामी too goal orientated or too destination मा फोकस गरेको हुन्छ, जुनमा चाहिँ त्यो प्रोग्रेस हुन्छ नि, त्योमा चाहिँ हामीले इन्जोय गर्दैन क्या मोमेन्टहरु.
Yeah, I think maybe like how I think largely society tends to kind of celebrate that point, and that's why everyone just wants to get to that point. And sadly or fortunately, unfortunately, we are a kind of product of society, and it's all part and parcel. But I think those are really good points that you shared there. Eventually, when and if you do make it to Nepal and Nepal becomes your base, I'm assuming that nursing will be a profession that you may not continue at Nepal. So that category in your life will become alikati khali, and
Khali.
you probably will end up doing something new. Do you have any ideas or any kind of aspirations in terms of यो चाहिँ एकचोटि चाहिँ गर्न चाहन्छु or सुरु गर्न चाहन्छु भनेर?
There is quite a few to-do list in mind.
That's exciting.
I don't even want to share that yet because it's still...
No, that's completely fine. Don't share. Like, don't share. But आफूलाई जति share गर्नु मन परेको मात्र share गर्ने हो के अरे हैन. But that's cool. I feel like
there's quite a few that's completely different. But it's just I just need time to research and just see if it's feasible or not.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if I've like decided to move on and then went ahead with the project, then yes, I will share it.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I feel like हामी जो especially साथीभाइहरु UK मा बसेको हुर्केको छौं हैन, हामी धेरै जनाको काम very routine हुन्छ, Monday to Friday होस् या working long shifts हैन, whether that's in healthcare or hospitality industry etc. अनि हामीलाई त्यो creative time or हाम्रो mind लाई नै त्यो time हुँदैन धेरै to let it work something creative. Yeah. Sorry, that was worded so badly. Our mind doesn't have time to rest and think about some other creative stuff. When you go on holidays or when you have annual leave where you're doing nothing, or when you go to Nepal, because Nepal ma kati धेरै साथीहरुको चाहिँ उहाँहरुको चाहिँ त्यो regular काम हुँदैन, but उहाँहरु चाहिँ very creative तरिकाले काम गरिराख्नु भएको हुन्छ नि त. अनि त्यो देख्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीलाई पनि त्यो एक किसिमको creative box then unlock हुन्छ नि त हैन. So I think that's exciting because I'm sure if you and eventually when you do make it out there, more things will develop and emerge. किनभने यहाँ बसेर कहिलेकाहीँ Saturday Sunday पनि खाली हुँदाखेरि त कति धेरै आइडिया आउँछ नि त हैन. And then you think त्यहाँ गयो भने त झन् you can really take in के भइराछ के भएको छैन, मैले के गर्न सक्छु हैन. किनभने कहिलेकाहीँ त जति नै ideas सँग armed भएर पुगे पनि you realize that actually धेरै के अरु कारणहरुले नमिल्ला भन्ने पनि. So it's a bit of a watch and see, trial and error kind of scenario as well, but that's exciting. And personally it makes me so happy to see so many people doing different things, whether it's juggling, यहीँकै work हो कि अब नेपालमा गएर अरु कुराहरुमा हात हालेर अगाडि बढाउन खोजेको, and also trying these different things, whether it's mountaineering or people really going into creative pursuits, whether that's in the UK. And I think this pot of people is growing by day, especially UK ko Nepaliharuma चाहिँ. And I know that you've been there since at least 2017 कि 16 हो.
So 15
Beer Bikram wise,
so 15 मा चाहिँ shooting को लागि चाहिँ गएको थियो.
Okay.
But to be out, like to be published and say okay, I'm in the film industry was 2016 मा चाहिँ हो.
Yeah, so त्यो समयदेखि नै it's been continuing, and I know obviously before that पनि there's various work that you did as well. So I think it's really good to see, and I'm so happy that you came to the Action With podcast to have this conversation. Yeah, that's it. Do you have any final things to share, or is there anything that I haven't asked you that you're waiting for me to ask you?
No, I think you asked all the questions, I think.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for having me in your podcast. I think you've been asking since day one, and then finally I managed to have some time.
Yeah. I mean, if we had gone with the original kind of time frame, that it would have been like, you're about to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah. Now I can say
Everest started आउनु भयो खालको हैन, which is complete different sense. मलाई चाहिँ के लागेको थियो भने उ अब नेपाल जान्छ या हिमाल चढ्छ, अनि हिमाल चढेर आएपछि उलाई त पडकास्ट गर्न मन हुँदैन होला.
No, because like you obviously like you asked before, and then I had to make time for you, because like since back in UK it's just been non-stop, like it's only calm, and then it's like meeting people, and it's just been hectic, so I had to make you some time. So
thank you so much. No, it's an honor, and I know that there's going to be many more mountains and many more adventures and films, and I wish you all the best for all of them.
Thank you, and I wish you hopefully Action With there'll be more podcasts.
Fingers crossed.
And wish you any other new ventures.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
And thank you so much for everyone listening or watching. If you are still here, then give it a thumbs up wherever you're watching. And this is it for today. Bye. This episode is brought to you by our gold partner, A-Star Financial Solutions UK, silver partners, Tap Tap Send and New Luxmi Jewelers, bronze partners, Nepal Authentic Dining and Nepali Music Festival UK 2022. Thank you for listening to Ik Chin With.